One thing I have learned over the years is this: the decisions we make strategically will almost always serve us better than the decisions we make purely from emotion. Whether it's business, friendship, finance, or relationships, decisions made with wisdom and intentionality tend to produce better outcomes than decisions made simply because they felt right in the moment. Yet, many of us grew up thinking that strategic decisions is somehow cold. That if you really love someone, you shouldn't have to think so much. That if something is meant to be, you should just follow your heart. But then again, we are surprised when the decisions we made from purely emotions tend to bring about very painful consequences. The truth is, children are allowed to make decisions purely based on emotion because they do not know any better yet. Adults do not have that luxury. The bigger the decision, the bigger the consequences. And very few decisions will impact the quality of your life than the person you choose to marry. The person you marry will affect your peace, your finances, your happiness, your children, your emotional health, and in many ways, the direction of your entire future. This is why choosing a husband is not a decision that should be made purely on emotions alone. Yes, love matters, attraction matters, chemistry matters, but they are not enough because feelings can help you choose a boyfriend, feelings can help you choose who to date, but feelings alone are not qualified to choose a husband. So if love is not enough, what then should women be looking out for when choosing a husband? Today, I want to share 3 things that I personally believe matters more than butterflies, chemistry, or even money when it comes to choosing a life partner. Let's get into it. Number one, marry for the quality of life you want to live, not simply for the feelings you feel. I know this may sound strange because most relationship advice begins with love, but I want to start somewhere deeper. Most women evaluate a man based on how he makes them feel, but marriage is not lived in feelings. Marriage is lived in daily realities. It's lived in conversations. It's lived in disagreements. It's lived in financial decisions, parenting choices, responsibilities, habits, priorities, and all of these things are influenced by something much more deeper than feelings. They are influenced by values. A man's value will eventually become the environment of your marriage. What he believes about commitment will affect your marriage. What he believes about family will affect your marriage. What he believes about finances will affect your marriage. What he believes about gender roles will affect your marriage. What he believes about responsibility will affect your marriage. What he believes about personal growth will affect your marriage. Many women spend more time asking themselves, do I love him? Rather than spending time asking the important question, what quality of life will this man's value system create for me? Because attraction can blind you to realities that values will later reveal. For example, imagine a woman who deeply values close family life. She wants connection, she wants quality time, she wants a husband who is actively involved at home. Then she marries a man whose entire identity revolves around work and achievements. He isn't evil, he isn't toxic. That does not make him a bad person, but he genuinely believes that providing financially is his primary responsibility. Years later, she feels lonely, not because she married a bad man, but because she married a man whose values created a different life from the one she actually wanted for herself. Imagine a woman who values financial stability and careful planning, and then she goes ahead to marry a man who believes that money should be spent as quickly as it comes. Neither person is necessarily wrong, but their belief system is going to create tension in their everyday life. This is why I always tell women, don't just look at the man, look at the life that comes with the man. Because you are not only marrying a person, you are marrying his habits, his mindsets, his priorities, his conviction, his patterns, his worldview, and eventually those things form your everyday life in the marriage. Feelings determine who you are attracted to. Value determines the life you would eventually live. It has come to my notice that a lot of you love and enjoy my videos, but somehow you forget to subscribe. This is a reminder to please hit the subscribe button now, and I will appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get back to our video. The second thing to look at is his weaknesses. One of the biggest mistakes people make when dating is to become obsessed with strength. He's handsome, he's ambitious, he's successful, he's intelligent, he's funny, he's confident, and all of those things truly matter in a relationship. But marriage is not experienced through strength alone. Marriage is also experienced through weaknesses, and every human being has them. You have weaknesses, I have weaknesses, every man has weaknesses. The goal is not to find a perfect man. The goal is to find a man whose weakness you can actually live with. Notice I didn't say tolerate. I said live with, because there is a difference. Most people tolerate things while dating that they obviously cannot live with in marriage. Ask yourself, if this never changes, can I build a healthy life with this person? That is a much better question than assuming that marriage will eventually change the person. For example, some men are naturally less emotionally expressive. They love deeply, they are loyal, they are dependable, but they are not naturally verbal. For some women, this is what they can live with. For some other women, emotional connection is very important to them, that this eventually becomes a source of pain in the marriage. Another example is ambition. Many women are attracted to ambitious men, and understandably so. But ambition often comes with trade-offs: long work hours, high stress, constant goals, limited availability. And for one woman, that's perfectly acceptable. For another woman, it creates loneliness. The issue is not whether ambition is good or bad. The issue is whether you can genuinely thrive with the realities that come with it. Or consider a man who constantly struggles with organization. If structure and planning are your strengths, this may not be a problem. But if disorganization frustrates you deeply, what seems small today may become a major source of conflict much later. One of the most important questions you can ask yourself is this: can my strengths support his weakness? Because healthy relationships are often built on complementary strengths, not identical perfection. So don't just ask whether you enjoy his strengths. Ask whether you can live with his weaknesses. Because strength attracts us, but weaknesses test us. And marriage eventually exposes both. The third thing I want you to consider is personality compatibility. This is a topic I believe is seriously underestimated. Many women understand attraction, few women understand compatibility, and those two things are not the same. You can be deeply attracted to someone and still be poorly matched for marriage. Compatibility is how two people function together over time. And before you can know who is compatible with you, you first have to understand yourself. You need to know your needs, your tendencies, your communication style, your emotional makeup, your strengths, and your blind spots. Because the better you understand yourself, the easier it becomes for you to identify the kind of man that complements you. For example, imagine a woman who is highly emotional, expressive, and relational. A calm, emotionally grounded man will definitely bring balance into her life. His steadiness helps regulate situations where emotions are running high. They can create a beautiful partnership. Now, imagine a woman who loves structure, planning, and predictability. She likes schedules, she likes routine, she likes to know what comes next. If she marries a man who is extremely spontaneous, dislikes planning, and lives entirely in the moment, they may experience ongoing frustration. Not because either person is wrong, but because their personality creates friction. This is exactly why I created my course, The Kind of Man You Should Marry, based on who you are. Because the real question isn't simply, is he a good man? The real question is he the right kind of man for me? A man can be a wonderful husband for one woman and a poor fit for another. Understanding personality compatibility helps you recognize the difference. And if you want to dive deeper into that topic, I'll leave the information about the course in the description below. Now, before I end this video, let me say this. There are many things to consider when choosing a husband. No single video can actually cover everything. But if you seriously evaluate these three areas, his values and the life they are likely to create, his weaknesses and whether you can genuinely live with them, and whether your personalities are actually compatible, you will already be ahead of many people who are choosing partners primarily based on attraction and chemistry. And finally, time matters. One of the reasons I generally encourage women not to rush into marriage is because time reveals what attraction often hides. Over time, value becomes visible, weaknesses become visible, patterns become visible, and personality becomes visible. People can perform for a few months, but it becomes much harder to perform over a long period of time. This is one reason dating for a year or more often makes these things easier to identify. Not because time guarantees wisdom, but because time provides evidence. And when choosing a husband, evidence is your friend. Now, even if you spend years dating without understanding exactly what you should be looking out for, a good balance of following these three steps and giving it 1 to 2 years would give you much more better results and ultimately a happier decision. The goal is not simply to get married, the goal is to choose wisely. And when you choose wisely, you significantly increase the chances of building the kind of marriage you actually want for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, comment, share to everyone who needs it. And if you're interested in learning more about the kind of man who is most compatible with your personality and life goals, check out my course in the description below. See you in my next video. Bye.